My parents' golden boy impregnated my girlfriend while they supported his betrayal, thinking I'd continue bankrolling them until I cut all ties and left. They came pleading a year later. Be me, 29, living in San Francisco. Never thought I'd be sharing this story. But here we are. Might as well tell you how everything went to hell. Been the responsible one in my family since forever. Not bragging, just stating facts. Started working at 12, mowing lawns around the neighborhood, saving every penny I could. Bought my own car at 16, while all my friends got new rides from their parents. Put myself through college. Zero debt. Landed a great job as investment consultant, making serious money by 27. Again, not flexing, just setting the scene. Parents treated me like their personal ATM from day one. First real paycheck, instant call from them asking for help with bills. Got a bonus at work? Mom called same day. Can you help with credit cards? Family helps family. Never a genuine thank you. Just grabby hands and guilt trips if I hesitated. Had to buy expensive gifts for everyone at Christmas. Family vacation? Just the airfare, they said. Somehow turned into paying for the whole damn trip. Dad needed new golf club membership. It's for business connections, son. Pure entitlement. But they were family. My dumbass thought I had to help. Then there's my younger brother Tommy, 27. Complete opposite of me. Good-looking smooth talker. Zero responsibility. Zero work ethic. Dropped out of college twice. Can't keep a job longer than few months. Blows money on gambling. And overpriced stuff to impress girls. Parents think he's perfect. Every failure is just Tommy finding himself. Or Tommy being free-spirited. My achievements? Always expected? Barely acknowledged. Made Dean's List? Got a nod, and that's what you're supposed to do. Tommy manages not to completely fail one semester. They threw him a party. Not even exaggerating. Despite obvious favoritism, still helped that loser. Thought maybe he'd learn? Paid his gambling debts 3 times. Over $20,000 total. Let him crash at my place rent-free for months. When he got evicted, shocking, used my connections to get him jobs. He'd always screw them up. Yeah, I was the definition of a sucker. But that's what happens when you're conditioned to be the responsible one. Met my fiancée Rebecca at friend's house party 7 years ago. She was 25 at the time. Seriously gorgeous. That perfect mix of hot but doesn't act like she knows it. Or so I thought back then. Studying psychology. Wanted to open her own practice someday. Smart and ambitious. Great personality, perfect body. The whole package. We clicked immediately. Within a year, she moved into my apartment. Covered most of our expenses, so she could focus on grad school without stress. Paid for trips, nice dinners, designer stuff she needed for networking events. Thought I was investing in our future together. My dumbass actually believed that. Got engaged after 4 years. Was genuinely happy. Thought I'd hit the jackpot. Smart, beautiful woman who seemed to love me for me. Then things got sketchy. Tommy and Rebecca hit it off from day one. Always got along too well. Started noticing changes. She'd overdress for family dinners. Too much makeup. Nothing inappropriate, but come on. You notice these things, catch them whispering and laughing at jokes I wasn't part of. Constantly texting during family gatherings. They'd always end up in deep conversation. Hidden in some corner. Asked her about it once. Just giving him sisterly advice. Yeah, right. Sisterly advice with giggles and secret smiles. Brushed it off as paranoia. Thought my fiancé and brother getting along was good. Not right. Let's just say I was a complete fool. Our wedding date was getting closer. Been engaged for about a year. Working serious overtime to save for our future. 60-hour weeks minimum, sometimes more. Wanted to surprise Rebecca with bigger house down payment. After honeymoon. Meanwhile, more weird stuff at home. Rebecca obsessed with her phone. Always angled away when texting. Started going out with college friends twice a week. Told myself it's fine. Maybe she's stressed about wedding. Needs space. Was too busy and too trusting. Wedding planning mostly on her. Since I was killing myself at work. Felt guilty about that. Compensated by agreeing to everything she wanted. No matter the cost. Premium venue in Napa Valley? Sure. Exotic honeymoon in Maldives? Of course. Designer dress? Whatever makes you happy, babe. Joint account taking serious hits. Figured we'd tighten belts after wedding. Plus Rebecca supposedly contributing her part. From her part-time counseling job. She'd show me spreadsheets of expenses. And her contributions. Trusted everything was legit. Too busy destroying myself at work to double-check numbers. What an idiot I was. Around 3 months before wedding, came home early from work one day. Boss actually forced me to leave. After nearly falling asleep in meeting, was planning to surprise Rebecca. Maybe take her to dinner. Surprise was on me though. She wasn't home, despite telling me she'd be studying all evening. For some certification exam. Didn't think much of it at first. Figured she went for coffee or needed break. Crashed on couch. Ended up falling asleep. Woke up around 10 p.m. to Rebecca quietly sneaking in, wearing clothes I'd never seen before. Asked where she'd been. Got all defensive. Needed to blow off steam with friends. Stressed about the exam. I just nodded. Knew something was up, but played it cool. Hidden things don't stay hidden forever. Week after that, she's in shower. Left her Apple Watch charging on nightstand. Notification pops up. Not typed to Snoop, but when I saw the name, couldn't ignore it. Message from Tommy. Can't wait to see you again. Just tell him you're meeting Jessica for drinks on Thursday. Blood went cold. No, I should respect privacy, but when privacy includes hooking up with your brother, yeah, screw that. Grabbed the watch. Passcode was my birthday. The irony. Opened messages. Found everything. Hundreds of messages going back months. Photos I can never unsee. Them making fun of how they banged in our bed. While I was working late. Weekend trips disguised as family emergencies. The whole package. But wait. Gets even better. Or worse. Checked wedding fund account. Found regular withdrawals. Thousands missing. Traced them to hotel bookings. Expensive restaurants. Even a weekend spa trip. All with Tommy. While I was working myself to death. To save for our future. All these trips scheduled. During my work conferences in other states. Digging deeper found something truly heartbreaking. Messages between Rebecca and my parents. Guess what? They knew everything. Not only knew, but actively encouraged it. Mom told Rebecca I was boring. Said she deserved someone exciting like Tommy. Instead of settling, Dad said he's happy Rebecca had good influence on Tommy. What a wise man. Looking out for his golden son, while screwing over the other. Sat there, phone in hand, reading through calculated betrayal. By literally everyone I trusted. Woman I loved. My own brother. My parents, all laughing behind my back. Using my money. Planning future that didn't include me. At least not how I thought. Didn't explode. Didn't shed a tear. Just felt this cold, hard clarity. Like never before. These people were parasites. Finally seeing situation clearly. That's when I decided. No more Mr. Nice Guy. Always saving the day. Time to show them exactly what happens. When you push the boring responsible guy too far. Didn't confront her that night. Didn't lose it. Instead ended everything silently. First thing next morning. Rebecca still sleeping. Got up. Made some coffee. Started working. Called my bank. Moved half of our savings to new private account. Was mainly my money anyway. She couldn't access it. Then called and canceled everything wedding related. Venue. Caterers. DJ. Flowers. Honeymoon reservations. All of it. Most places had non-refundable deposits. Didn't even care about losing money. Better than getting stuck in screwed marriage and miserable divorce. By time Rebecca woke up, cancellation confirmations flooding her inbox. Her face when she saw them, priceless. Started frantically calling vendors, while staring at me with confused look. Just calmly sipped my coffee. Watched the show. When she finally asked what hell was going on, just shrugged. Said I didn't feel like getting married. To someone banging my brother behind my back. She acted confused at first. Then broke down when confronted with evidence. Got defensive. Started throwing excuses. I was feeling lonely. You're always working. Yeah, not like I was busting my ass. To give her life she wanted. I didn't listen. Left for work. We'll talk later. Getting late for work. My phone exploded that day. Calls and texts from her. My parents, even Tommy, ignored every single one. Let them stew in their own panic. Rebecca's messages went from confused to angry, to fake concerned, to straight up begging. As day went on, parents insisted on talking things out. Only replied with one message. Of course we'll talk. Family dinner tonight, 7 p.m. That evening after work. Got fresh haircut. If burning their lives to ground, must do it with style. Arrived at parents' place. They were already waiting. Rebecca with puffed eyes, sitting next to Tommy at dining table. Both looking nervously at me. Parents had their concerned but disappointed faces ready. Table set like just another family dinner, which somehow made whole thing more insulting. Didn't wait for anyone to start their speech. Just dropped the damn evidence on table. A folder inside every message. Every photo. Every hotel receipt. Bank statements showing missing money. Screenshots showing whole betrayal. Look on their faces as they realized what they were seeing. Absolutely priceless. Blood drained from Rebecca's face. Tommy's smug expression cracked. Mom started panicking. Dad started, let's discuss things like adults, son. Hadn't planned on getting physical. Never been my style. But when Tommy had actual balls, to start saying, it's not what it looks like, something just snapped inside me. Before even realizing what was happening, Was across that table, fist connecting with his face. Felt his nose crack under my knuckles. Women were screaming. Dad trying to grab me. Got in 2 more solid hits. Before they managed to pull me off him, Tommy curled up like little bitch, covering his broken nose, straightened my tie, fixed my cufflinks, regained composure, told Rebecca I was canceling lease. She had 72 hours to get stuff out of my apartment before it would be on curb. Turned to parents, who were hovering over precious injured Tommy, told them they'd never see another cent from me. No more bailing out Tommy's gambling debts, no more helping with property taxes. When they came up short, no more funding family vacations. Under guise of treating everyone, reminded them how I'd been their safety net for years. While they favored their deadbeat son, that gravy train had just derailed permanently. Mom started crying, saying I was overreacting. We can fix things. Dad tried his authoritative now son routine. Rebecca just kept sobbing these fake tears. Didn't move me one bit. Tommy's still too beaten up to contribute anything useful. Made one final statement before leaving. They were all dead to me from this moment forward. No second chances. No reconciliation. No forgiveness. They had spent years taking advantage of my loyalty and generosity. It was over for good. Done being everyone's backup plan and piggy bank. Absolute silence that followed was sweetest sound I'd ever heard. They had nothing to say. No defense. No valid explanation. Nothing. Walked out with head high. Got in my car. Drove away from that house. For last time. Over next few days, messages continued. But with different tone. Rebecca went from angry to desperate, claiming she'd made terrible mistake. That Tommy had seduced her, as if she had no choice in year-long affair. Parents tried every manipulation tactic. Guilt. Shame. Family obligation. Even threatened to tell extended family. I was having mental health issues. Tommy stayed pretty quiet. Probably still nursing his broken nose. Responded to exactly none of it. Blocked their numbers. Set up email filters. Sent their messages straight to trash. Started process of untangling any financial connections. Like cutting out cancer. Painful, but necessary for survival. Shittiest part was dealing with mutual friends. Some immediately took Rebecca's side, based on whatever story she fed them. Others tried to stay neutral, which in my book was just as bad. Few actually reached out to offer support. Appreciated but mostly declined. Didn't need pity, or hang in there platitudes. Was good. Work became my sanctuary. Threw myself into projects. Stayed late every night. Came in on weekends. By end of 2 weeks, had secured lawyer to handle apartment lease. Closed all joint accounts and credit cards. Changed phone number. Started looking for new place to live. Was moving forward, for first time in life, making decisions based solely on what was best for me. Not what would keep peace, or help family. It was liberating. Next 4 months were like weird rebirth. Never thought I'd be one of those. Living my best life after breakup, guys. But holy shit, things improved fast once I cut parasites out. First off, completely disappeared from their radar. Moved out of old apartment, into sweet downtown penthouse. Cost more but worth every penny. For peace of mind, without Rebecca draining bank account, and Tommy constantly borrowing money. My finances went from decent to rock solid. Practically overnight. Started actually seeing savings grow. Instead of constantly explaining mysterious withdrawals, used some money to upgrade wardrobe. Bought furniture I actually liked. Instead of IKEA garbage Rebecca insisted was our aesthetic. Upgraded my car. Work became main focus. All that overtime started paying off big time. Boss noticed I was suddenly even more productive. Amazing what you accomplish when not constantly dealing with relationship drama. Put me on biggest client accounts. 2 months after wedding that wasn't. Got promoted with 30% salary bump. Investment consultant who was too boring. Now youngest senior manager in company history. Also started hitting gym like man-possessed. All that anger and betrayal had to go somewhere productive. Found this boxing gym, run by ex-MMA fighter, who didn't believe in taking it easy on newbies. After few months, dropped 15 pounds of fat, gained about 20 pounds of muscle. Could actually hold my own in ring. For first time since forever. Wasn't responsible for anyone but myself. Didn't have to worry about bailing out Tommy. Or funding Rebecca's endless needs. Or being parents' backup plan. Just me spending my money on me. Sounds selfish writing it out. But after a lifetime of being everyone's support system, it felt like freedom. Started making new friends too. Not fake couple friends Rebecca and I had, but actual people with shared interests. Met some guys at boxing gym who invited me to their poker nights. Connected with coworkers I'd previously been too busy for. During this time, heard nothing from family directly. They seem to get message about cutting them off, but information has ways of trickling through, even when trying to stop it. Cousin I was still on good terms with kept me updated, not realizing she was breaking my no family news rule. Apparently Tommy and Rebecca's perfect relationship was imploding spectacularly, without me funding their lifestyle. Reality hit hard. Tommy's gambling addiction spiraled out of control. Once he didn't have Big Brother to bail him out. They fought constantly, usually about money. He started cheating on her, with some hookers, just 3 months into their official relationship. Karma's a bitch, isn't it? My parents were struggling too, without my gifts and loans, and me covering family vacations. They had to seriously downsize. Dad had to postpone retirement plans. Mom had to cancel country club membership. Truly devastating stuff, right? Excuse me while I play world's smallest violin. Won't lie, hearing about their problems gave me satisfaction. Not proud of it, but being honest here, after years of them taking advantage, while treating me as lesser son, watching their perfect world crumble, without my support, felt like justice. Around 4-month mark, just when thought finally free of drama, came home from work dinner, found Rebecca sitting on floor, outside my new apartment. How did she find a dress? Had no idea. For second, didn't even recognize her. Always perfectly put together, woman was gone. Designer clothes replaced with wrinkled sweats. No makeup, hair unwashed and pulled back messily. Eyes puffy and red from crying. First instinct was pretend didn't see her. How hell did she even find my new place? Had to be through someone at work. Mental note to figure out who Leek was. Deal with that later. But what could she possibly want after everything? Was already guessing, but wanted to see her squirm. Against better judgment, let her into apartment, mostly because didn't want neighbors, witnessing whatever scene she might create in hallway. As soon as door closed behind us, waterworks started, launched into clearly rehearsed speech about how Tommy had changed after they got together, become controlling and abusive, gambled away their rent money, cheated with multiple women, how my parents turned on her. When she complained about Tommy's behavior, called her ungrateful, not good enough for their precious son, typical of them. She started sobbing, that she'd made biggest mistake of her life, throwing away years with good man. That would be me, apparently. For absolute garbage, Tommy. Looked at me with those tear-filled eyes. That used to make me do anything to make her happy. Asked if we could try again. Said she'd realized what she had too late. But that we could rebuild. The absolute audacity of this woman was impressive. She genuinely thought I'd welcome her back, with open arms, that I'd be so desperate and pathetic, that I'd take her cheating ass back, after everything, that her tears would make me forget everything. When she finished her performance, shook my head, said I was sorry to hear that, but then I just laughed. Couldn't help it. Look of confusion on her face. Clearly this wasn't following script. She'd imagined, where I immediately forgave her, and we fell into each other's arms. Laid it all out for her. Reminded her everything she did. The cheating, the disrespect. You're only sorry you got caught, and that life with Tommy isn't fairy tale you imagined, right? Asked her, oh sweetheart, you really thought I was stupid enough to give you another chance? Her mask dropped instantly. Tears dried up like magic. Face changed to something ugly and desperate. Started saying things like, I won't find someone like her. Escorted her to door with smile. Told her never finding someone like her again was exactly what I wanted. Suggested she try finding job to support herself. Sound of door closing behind her. More satisfying than any revenge I could have planned. Thought that would be end of it. But Rebecca wasn't done yet. Over next few weeks, she tried everything. Showed up at my office with flowers. Security escorted her out. Sent emails from new addresses. Straight to spam. Even tried to get mutual friends to advocate for her. They quickly became ex-mutual friends. Each attempt more pathetic than last. Final straw came when she showed up at my new gym. Somehow tracked down where I worked out. The dedication, ladies and gentlemen, caused such scene that owner, my MMA trainer buddy, had to physically remove her from premises. That's when finally got restraining order. Should have done it sooner. But part of me couldn't believe she'd keep pushing after such clear rejection. Didn't know she had that little dignity. After restraining order, Rebecca disappeared from my life, presumably to lick her wounds, and find another target. Heard through grapevine. She moved back to her parents' place in Utah, telling everyone who would listen that I was emotionally abusive, and that's why she cheated. Classic Darvo move. Typical narcissist playbook. I couldn't care less. Meanwhile, my life continued upward trajectory. Promotion led to more responsibilities, which I handled easily. Without constant drama at home, started taking actual vacations. For first time in years, Weekend trips to places always wanted to visit. Bought myself motorcycle I'd always wanted, was always told was too dangerous and immature. For first time in life, was living entirely on my terms. But life has funny way of not letting you enjoy peace for too long. Just when thought all drama was behind me, Tommy and Rebecca's show evolved into something more twisted. Despite best efforts to stay disconnected from my toxic family, their implosion was about to splash back onto me. Rumors about Tommy and Rebecca's relationship troubles weren't exaggerated. They were actually understating disaster. According to my cousin, who still occasionally updated me, despite my protests. God, did she enjoy gossip? They broke up spectacularly. After Tommy cleaned out their joint account for gambling spree, left Rebecca with rent due, and no way to pay it. When she called my parents for help, they basically told her it was her problem now. And Tommy? He went crawling back to parents, who welcomed their golden child with open arms despite everything. Some things never change, but this time, there was thing they didn't see coming. See, my parents, those enablers extraordinaire, were finally facing consequences of decades of poor parenting decisions. Without my financial support, constantly patching holes in their budget, they had to deal with Tommy's BS, using their own resources. And Tommy, sensing weakness, went for jugular, somehow still not clear on exact details. He convinced them to mortgage their paid-off house, to invest in some sure-thing business opportunity. Classic scam. But they fell for it, because Golden Boy could do no wrong. When that inevitably failed, they remortgaged again, to cover his gambling debts. When some scary dudes showed up at their door, then co-signed on luxury car, he promptly totaled while driving drunk, then paid his legal fees for DUI. One bad decision after another. Consequences actually stuck this time. Within months, my financially comfortable upper-middle-class parents were on the verge of bankruptcy. House they'd lived in for 30 years was in foreclosure. Dad had to come out of retirement to work retail at 65. Mom was picking up shifts as school cafeteria worker. And Tommy? He pulled his usual disappearing act. When things got tough, changed his number, deleted social media, went completely off-grid, left parents holding bag for all his disasters, probably running from loan sharks or hiding out with whatever new victim he'd charmed into supporting him. I heard all this secondhand, tried my best not to care. They'd made their choices repeatedly. Now facing consequences. I'd worked too hard to rebuild my life, to get sucked back into their drama, but apparently universe wasn't done testing my nerves just yet. Almost exactly 1 year of no contact. Phone rang with unfamiliar number. Normally let random numbers go to voicemail. Thanks to Rebecca's stalker tendencies, changed my number again. But was expecting client call. So picked up, but nope. It was my mom. Hi honey, it's been a while. Understatement of century. First instinct was to hang up, but honestly was curious. She asked if we could meet to talk about important family matter. Said it was urgent. Almost refused. But again, curiosity won out. Where's fun if I reject them right away? Wanted to watch whole thing unfold. Right in front of me. Agreed to meet at coffee shop. Near my office next day. Showed up few minutes early. Got prime corner table with clear view of door. Ordered coffee. Watched them walk in. Holy shit. If you told me these were my parents, might not have believed you. Dad had lost at least 20 pounds. His hair was thinning. Mom's carefully maintained appearance, completely gone. No makeup, hair barely brushed. Wearing clothes from discount store. They looked like hell. They spotted me. Did that awkward half smile. Didn't stand up. Didn't smile back. Just gestured to chairs for them to sit. Mom tried to hug me. I leaned back. Let's skip fake affection. What do you want? Story came out in pieces. Between embarrassed glances and Mom's occasional tears, turns out Golden Boy Tommy had really outdone himself this time. As I already knew, after I cut them off financially, they had to deal with his BS, using their own resources. Then they went on with whole thing, how they were losing everything. House in foreclosure, credit destroyed, retirement accounts emptied, medical bills piling up, car repossessed, and how Tommy disappeared completely. About 4 months ago. Last act being draining their emergency savings before ghosting his own parents. Dad couldn't even look me in eye as he pushed folder across table, documents showing their financial disaster in excruciating detail. Mom did that manipulative crying thing. We need help, honey. We have nowhere else to turn. The magic number? $80,000. $50,000 to stop foreclosure. $30,000 to clear most pressing debts. They'd exhausted all other options. No bank would touch them. With their crater of credit score, no friends would lend to them anymore. Apparently wasn't only one they'd burned. None of our relatives had that kind of money. I was their last hope. The boring, stable, financially responsible son they dismissed for years was now their only lifeline. The irony was so thick. "We've made terrible mistakes," Mom whimpered. "The things we said about you to Rebecca, the way we covered the whole thing, we were wrong. So wrong." Dad finally looked up. "We were blind to who Tommy really was. You were always the good one, son." For a split second, almost felt something. Almost, but this wasn't really about me. This wasn't them having moral awakening about how shitty they'd been my entire life. This was them facing consequences, looking for escape hatch. If Tommy showed up tomorrow with winning lottery ticket, they'd welcome him back with open arms. Forget all about tearful reconciliation attempt with me. What I did? Closed folder without even looking through it. Pushed it back across table. "Let me get this straight. You encouraged my fiancée to cheat with my brother? You told her I was boring, that she deserved someone exciting like Tommy? You took advantage of me. Then when I finally cut you all off, you continued enabling Tommy until he completely ruined you financially. And now you want me to give you $80,000? Mom's tears flowed faster. "We're still your parents. Family is family no matter what." I actually laughed. Couldn't help it. Family is family. That's rich coming from you two. Where was this family loyalty when you were plotting against me? Dad tried one last time. "We'll lose the house. We'll be homeless at our age. We don't know what we'll do." I stood up, looked down at two pathetic strangers, sitting across from me. Same people who'd made me feel inadequate. My entire life. Were now literally begging for my help. "You should have thought about these consequences. When you bet on wrong, son." Mom reached for my hand. I pulled it away. "Please," she whispered. "We have nowhere else to go." "Not my problem. You made your choice. Tommy's your son too. Go find him instead of wasting my time here." With that, I stood up, tossed $20 bill for their coffee plus tip, walked away. Good luck with foreclosure. I'd say keep in touch, but don't look on their faces. As glanced back through window from outside. Perfect. Walking to my car. Felt lighter than had in years. No guilt. No second thoughts. Some might call it heartless. But walking away from those manipulative leeches was healthiest decision I've ever made. They weren't looking for reconciliation. They were looking for new host. Now that their golden child had sucked them dry and moved on. Drove back to work, cranked up some music, didn't think about them again, until sat down to write this. And honestly, it feels good to be villain in their story, because in mine, I'm finally